This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 11/10/2020. Well, all the troubles of the world, lots going on, but you wouldn't know it from the markets, that's for sure. And, well, Nick, remarkable things happening in the markets now, isn't it?
It really is. It's incredible. Today we have a NASDAQ sell-off today, so we're starting to see money rotate out of technology. That started yesterday as well. Yesterday the NASDAQ was down pretty sizably, and everything else was up. We had the Russell, the Dow, and the S&P higher. Today we're seeing that tech-heavy NASDAQ, though. It was down by more than 1% earlier. Right now it looks like it's only down about 0.7%, so has come back a little bit. But we're seeing some real good selling in Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Alibaba, numerous cloud software names as well. But the good news is that we're seeing money flow into energy and retail stocks and a lot of industrials. And you're also seeing money going into some of the pharma names. So there really is just money coming out of tech, and it's finding a home somewhere else.
And it's so interesting because these are the one decision stocks, the Nifty 50 of the 70s. You just buy this stock, you buy Amazon, and you hold on to it for life, and you retire a wealthy man or woman.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And that still may be the case, but right now, that stock has come under some real good distribution over the last 2 sessions. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. We'll see where this all finishes today. Remember, it's not how they open them. It's more how they close them. And we'll see where we go. But, for a change, we're seeing money going into the energy stocks. You have the XLE up another 1.25% today. Stocks like Conoco up over 3% today. I have stayed away from all these energies, but they're doing well. I wonder if that's telling us something that maybe there is a Trump victory on the horizon, because we know if Biden gets in, it's new Green Deal all the way. And energy stocks, I think, are on the descent if he does get elected.
Yeah, we have crude back over $40 a barrel.
That's right. Crude at 41 and change right now. And again, up over 2% today. And just look at Conoco, look at Chevron today, look at ExxonMobil. I mean, these stocks have had really big moves the last couple of days, yesterday and today.
So what do we infer from this? You think, I don't know about election, trying to read the election tea leaves, but perhaps it's telling us that energy might be down, but it's not out?
It's down, but it's not out. I think it will be out, though, for the count if there is a Joe Biden presidency. If there's a President Trump presidency, I think all of the energies can flourish, including the beaten down fossil fuel energy types like Exxon and Chevron. But if Joe Biden becomes the president, I would steer clear of every energy stock that has to do with fossil fuel.
Well, interesting phenomena to think that you can just shut down one sector of the economy, arguably the largest sector in the world, certainly of goods-producing sector, commodity sector. Energy is the biggest, and it's tens of millions of people employed in this sector. Granted, you got to know that for personal transportation, electric is going to be the way it goes in the future, but you can't just replace 1.4 billion cars that run on gasoline with 1.4 billion electric cars. That's got to take decades to do, doesn't it?
I would think it would. Plus, people don't realize, but when you charge up your electric car, you're getting electricity. How do you even get your electricity? People don't look at how electricity is even generated. You have to burn something to get electricity. So, I chuckle at the electric cars here because, then you have to replace these batteries that are full of contaminants. I'm just not sold on the electric car story. It's just really, really baffling to me how they've sold it. But, I'm not saying I don't like the cars. I think it's a pretty neat thing. But I think if a hydrogen fuel cell is a much better product than just an electric car. So if you're going to charge a car, think about it. Fossil fuels create electricity. So
Yeah,
it
for
really is.
largely.
It really
Largely.
is amazing how it comes about. I don't think the windmills are generating enough electricity
Or the
for
solar panels.
or the solar panels right now to really give us to
No.
create a major city power for a major city. I just don't see that.
And for solar and wind to really become predominant would require a, a quantum leap in battery technology. Not so much in its ability to store energy, we know it can do that, but in the cost to store it. The cost of constructing these cells, these batteries, is beyond expensive. And yes, you can buy these brick walls, Tesla bricks for your home, and it'll keep you off the grid for a couple of days. But that's just not. It's just not viable at this point for large scale power generation. It just isn't. Hey, looking at our precious metals sector.
Yeah. So today we have gold having a really good day. It bounced back a bit today, up $28. It was absolutely hammered yesterday. And then you have silver up nicely today again, up 3.5%. So, like I've been saying, gold and silver, don't get too low when they're down. Don't get too high when they're up. They're going to just chop around here. And this is what has to happen until it fulfills its pattern.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can see you have these days. It's real interesting. I know you watch the downside days. When they hit, they're really steep, deep, really kind of bone jolting declines. And then when they go back up, I mean, we did have that one day last week where we had nearly $50 gain in gold. It was 44 something, 48. But for the most part, we just don't see them go up like that. They take like 3-4 days, and then they totally retrace the prior decline. So it's exactly the same type of price action we saw in 2010, 2011, when gold was building this huge base and starting to take off, eventually hitting 1950.
Yeah, and just to add to that point, that's just the ebb and flow of markets. That's what markets do. They surge, and when they go parabolic, they have to correct themselves, and they're going to do it in two manners. One, they either collapse back down, or they consolidate and build a base to go higher again. I believe that's what gold ultimately is doing. And I always tell everybody, just be patient with the precious metals right now. You don't have to rush into them. But everything they're doing is fine. There's really nothing wrong here at this point in time, but there's no setup yet to jump in them. But the setup is forming. You just got to let it form a bit.
And that's really the key, is patience, watch for the setup. You could definitely, it might not be the most advantageous time to buy now, but if you're buying, it's not the worst time either. You just have to be prepared, buckle your seatbelt, because you're going to get some jolts here.
That's right. That's right. I mean, if you want to accumulate and you want to start to pick some up here and there, you could do so. But overall, the move to the sky is not just yet. It's still forming. It's still putting in the pattern. And that's just the way that markets work. That's just the ebb and flow of things. Every time I've been looking at charts for so long now, when I see these patterns develop, you could just see, sometimes they're going to have big moves, but they're called little fake outs. They try to get people back in. Then you'll get a big sell off. They'll get people to shake themselves out. That's what markets do. They're constantly moving. They're constantly shaking people in and out. And again, just let that pattern form, and it will tell you when to get in, and it'll tell you when the sustainable rally is on its way.
Hey, one thing we want to look at, the travel sector. How is that doing today after that massive rally?
Yeah, so yesterday the travel stocks were on fire. Today they're pulling back a bit. You have stocks like Southwest Airlines, that's up nicely. Delta Airlines is up a little bit, up 22 cents. But yet you have stocks like Alaska, American, Spirit Airlines, United Airlines down $1.14. So they're pulling back a little bit. But that's natural after a big advance like you saw yesterday. To get a little bit of a pullback today is not unusual.
All right. Well, I think we'll leave it at that. Go over to inthemoneystocks.com. See Nick's extensive trading record, a lot of other great info there, complimentary. Make sure you subscribe to the Twitter feeds. It's at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz. Email us. We'll start taking those emails and comments tomorrow, I promise. And Nick, we'll pick up tomorrow where we left off today.
Sounds good, Kerry.
And so concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. Be sure to go to his website, inthemoneystocks.com. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago01.